Good morning, Nigeria. Welcome to Let's Talk Nigeria on Goldig 97.5 FM Yanagwa, the program where we examine the issues shaping our nation and the policies that affect our everyday lives. Turn our attention to a development in Nigeria's petroleum sector that has sparked conversations across the Niger Delta and beyond. Well, recently, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu approved the establishment of a task force on presidential petroleum reform and value optimization. The initiative is expected to focus on improving efficiency, transparency, and overall value in Nigeria's oil and gas industry. Now, given that petroleum remains the backbone of the country's economy, any reform in this sector carries significant implications for national revenue, governance, and the welfare of communities in oil-producing areas. However, as many Nigerians know, the story of oil exploration in the Niger Delta has long been intertwined with questions of equity, environmental responsibility, and community development. While the nation benefits from petroleum resources extracted from this region, oil-producing communities have repeatedly raised concerns about environmental degradation, economic neglect, and inadequate participation in decisions that affect their land and livelihoods. Now, this is why the establishment of the new task force raises an important question. What should be the real priorities of this body if it is to deliver meaningful reform? Beyond improving production, efficiency, and maximizing revenue for the federal government, should the task force also address long-standing concerns about fairness, sustainability, and inclusion for host communities? Should be the focus of the task force on presidential petroleum reform and value optimization to ensure that oil-producing communities are not marginalized or are not left behind in all of this, arrangements? Should community development be central to its mandate also? How can transparency, environmental accountability, and local participation be strengthened? And what role should regional stakeholders play in shaping these reforms? To help us explore these important questions, we are bringing back a prominent voice from the Niger Delta Youth Movement to this conversation. He's been here about 2 weeks ago. Our guest this morning is the Secretary General of the Joy Youth Council Worldwide, Maobuye Nangi Obu. Good morning, and thanks for joining us again today on the show.
Good morning, Kimri. Good morning, listeners.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. And so he will share his insights on the expectations of the young people from the oil-producing communities and what they believe this new task force must prioritize to build trust and deliver real change. Remember, you heard Paul when he said they were given a 3-month mandate to be to come up with a report. Stay with us as we open up this conversation and hear perspectives that matter to the future of Nigeria, the Niger Delta, and the Nigerian petroleum industry. Of course, All right, so let's get started with the conversation. Maobuye Nangi Obu, thanks so much for joining us today again. Let's start with the first question. What was your immediate reaction when President Tinubu announced the establishment of the task force on presidential reform, petroleum reform, and value optimization?
Okay, so like your question, like I said, it's Nigeria is a roller coaster in terms of leadership, and this is nobody should second guess that statement. However, I would also, in a way, I use the word tactically, I would like to appreciate the president for, the forward-thinking approach of, seeing the need to set up a petroleum task force, at this time. However, you can take this to the bank that it's another cesspool for corruption, just like the NDBC and every other stuff, agencies or whatever committees have been created. But the most annoying part that discombobulates me is the part where the composition of this very august, committee that was created by the president. It shows how it shows that our president is a chairman and is number one. It shows the highest level of debauchery, the highest level of nepotism, favoritism. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Out of 9 members in that committee, the president has just shown that he's a champion of nepotism and ethnicism. four of them are from the same region, his brothers, his kith and kin, Yorubas. And no Niger Delta or no Ijo person. I represent the Ijo, the Ijo ethnic nationality in this discourse. And as a leader, as the Secretary General of the Ijo Youth Council, I would have to first, my allegiance is to Ijo Nation to protect, preserve the rights and privileges of Ijo people. We contribute to the mainstay of Nigeria's economy. And it's a shame, it's downright unprincipled, it's unacceptable, that, a committee like this would be created by the president, on things that concern the Ijaw people the most, because we are the fourth largest ethnic nationality according to Nigeria. And we reside in the only region, I use the word only region that produces this so-called petroleum that has become a malady in our society today. Meaning we produce the highest, which indeed we are. So why would you take out Ijaw people in such a committee as this that has to speak for Ijaw people, that Ijaw people bears the most brunt of all of the shenanigans, all of the madness in this sector? So I think it's also a shame that we have Ijaws, be it governors or senators or whoever, that are still singing and said they are part of a renewed hope. So is this part of the renewed hope agenda for Ijaw people? It's a shame. It's indeed a shame that out of 9 members, 4 are Yorubas. They are the president's kith and kin. No Ijaw man is in that committee. No Ijaw woman is in that committee. Yet we don't have any qualified Ijaw person, young or old, to be part of that committee. That's one of the things. So I think there's nothing. It's already an exercise in futility that we already know the end of this very committee that you want to talk about. Whatever they will come up with, we already know where they're headed. We already know what it is. It's just like taking over all of our assets through the back door, just like they have for Renaissance, just like they've had for Egypt today, it's now Oando, just like they've had for... So people are afraid to speak, and we have people who ordinarily should be speaking on behalf of our people, the INC and the IYC. Everybody is looking for how to be elected currently, or see how he or she would make a lot of money. And at the end of the judgment of all of us, tomorrow we're going to be the ones to bear the brunt. So for me, this, so-called committee, I don't have faith in them. Why? Because Nigeria is, we practice what we call representative democracy. So if my people are not there, whether they are, people who are sold out and their brains are now washed into the APC, apply them and make sure Ijaw people are also part of it, because Ijaw people are killing Ijaws daily to making sure that they prove loyalty to Tinubu, yet he cannot find any Ijaw man or woman worthy enough to be part of such a committee that will suckle us dry again. Trillions of our monies will go down with this committee. So much monies will be voted, and these people will come up with the recommendations that the president will now work with as a working document. Let me also tell you one of the things. This so-called committee, or this committee rather, would also come up with recommendations as to whether the PIA law would be amended also. And we the last time I spoke with you, I told you, I said there's an urgent need for the PIA to be amended, more especially as it concerns the Niger Delta people, more especially as it concerns the Ijaw people. So you don't have an Ijaw man there at that table, you don't have an Ijaw woman there at that table, and you have Yorubas and other non-oil producing persons, dominating that committee. So what type of recommendations are they going to come up with? Let me give you, before I close on this very part, I traveled, recently.
You were talking about the people on the committee. Let's quickly inform the listener that these are the members. Mr. Fola Adiola, co-founder of Guarantee Trust Bank and founder and chairman of the Faith Foundation, is the task force's chairman. And as chairman, he will coordinate the group's work and ensure the timely delivery of its mandate. Now, other members of the task force are Ademola Adeyemi Bero, Osagi Okumbo, Abubakar Suleiman, Adezi Aguile, Farouk Gumel, Philippa Osakwe Okoye, and Sheyi Bella. And Mofoloshowo Father Yomi will serve as secretary of the task force. Just for information. Yeah.
Let me just further.
Does it mean that the Niger Deltans, especially the Ijaw people, in quote, do not have, we don't have people who are, specialists in some of these areas? Maybe that's why.
Okay. No.
We have
Atedo Peter Side, who is the founder and owner of IBTC, the IBTC Bank, right? And so if you're talking about finance, we have our dear father and leader, Ibitimi Banigo, who is the father of modern banking and yesterday's banking. So he's also not qualified. He's still alive. He's still not qualified. None of those guys you mentioned, can beat any of these two Ijo sons I have just mentioned to you in terms of finance and whatever and banking, please. So these are just a few. We have very many that I don't know, but because I am so exasperated, I am just trying to mention these two because they just came to mind, right? Now we talk about energy experts. I don't want to go into individuals because we believe in certificates in this country. Unfortunately, I don't have any certificate to show. But the truth is that I believe in content. And let me also tell you something here. The person whom you talk about as energy expert, I can pass for an energy expert. And I don't think or is it experience in terms of on the job or what, I'm using myself here and I'm ready to talk about it. So let the person come and talk. So are you talking? See, Ijos are the most experts you can find anywhere. Let me also say this to you. We have our dear brother from Bayelsa, Singdoff, a veteran, an ambassador, a veteran. Look at where he was posted to. I'm just saying, this is how crazy this country in terms of leadership is. And we have a government that have gone to say they are renewed hope. They cannot even make a case for their own. I'm just saying this. I don't know the man, but go and read about Singdoff. He's one of the ambassadors, career ambassador. I'm just saying, who amongst those persons have better experience than that guy on that list of ambassadors? This is this country for you. So whether we are most qualified would always be disrespected. And that's because our people go to either seek for contracts and pay money to people to do money laundering or whatever, image laundering for this very failed government instead of speaking truth to power. So the point is that Ijos are the most qualified on this. Now, let me also say this. In Shell has a very, Shell, they will tell you that they don't exist. They always want to look at the Edo people. This is not against Edos. They are also Nigeria of that. A place without even oil. They are the people that instead of allowing, how many Ijos have been country chair or vice president of Shell? Find out. This is the history. When an Ijo man tries to rise up to a particular position in Shell, he's being cut off. Since, Chamberlain, Oyubo, and the rest of them were in the NMPC as GMD and all that, he gotten another Ijo man again, apart from under Jonathan, where Jonathan had to probably come up with, very high reforms. And he didn't just bring Ijo people, he brought the most qualified Ijos that can stand anywhere, any part of the world. So the point is that Ijo people, we are highly disrespected, we're highly being used, and all aided and abetted by ourselves. So I don't blame Tinubu all that, but the truth is that it shows that he is a champion of nepotism, ethnicism, and favoritism, a champion of ethnic bigotry.
Okay, sorry. So let me. Okay,
you're going about sharing all of this.
Okay, let me ask.
We reject this committee because you cannot use our resources from the Niger Delta and eject people who will bear the most brunt of this. And these people will only sit in Abuja to do this job.
But,
they will not.
But Maobuye, we have. Hold on now, Maobuye. We have Niger Deltans on board. We have someone, Osage from Edo State. We have that of Delta State as well. So you wouldn't say the Niger Deltans have been taken out completely.
Okay, so when they run Wazobia is this country. Now, if you want to say Wazobia, why not do Wazobia, for example? And you want to follow it because that's what they do. Anything you do, you must see Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo. So, and Nigeria has classed us and told us that we are the fourth largest ethnic nationality. Why are we not even being treated as the fourth largest ethnic nationality? We're being seen as second-class citizens in this country. So why would you do a thing and balance a committee of 9 persons? You can make it 11. For example, I'm just saying. You can make it 10. You can make it 7. Or even if it's 9, there ought to be a minimum of 2 jobs there.
Okay.
This is what is acceptable. This is an administration. We've never had it this bad in this country in the history of Nigeria, where we do not have an Ijo minister. Our dear brother Henneken Lukobri is not an Ijo minister. He's a minister from Bayelsa State. It's statutory. Nigerian constitution says that at least every minister to a state. Henneken Lukobri was not made minister because he is Ijo. He was made minister because he is a Bayelsan. and he is taking the slot of Bayelsa State in the Federal Executive Council. We do not have a regional minister, but we have, in some states, 3 ministers. States that are not viable economically, to contributing to the mainstay of Nigeria's economy. We've never been disrespected, and Nigeria have never had it this bad. The John Nation have never had it this bad under Tinubu.
Okay, now let's
tell you this. So
okay.
we must not all be scared. My brothers, we go die one day. It's best you speak the truth and not, syndicated truth. You speak the truth and you die because you spoke the truth. Because even if you don't speak, we're dying. As I speak with you, I don't have food to eat currently.
Okay, now
that's because we have a country. We cannot make anything legal. This is illegal if we're looking at what is going on. However, I have just said it that the committee should not sit in Abuja, drink tea and coffee because they're economic experts and all of that. These people that you have all mentioned, they are kids in terms of the judges that I can tell you that can match them. Ebitimi Banigo, Atedo Peter side, I have forgotten the rest of them. Those of you who are in the research area right now, because I'm angry, I can't really think about a lot of them. But like I said, none of these persons you mentioned are not kids in terms of the practice, in terms of the job to these great two Ijosons.
So you choose not to give a roadmap? You choose not to give any roadmap?
No, the roadmap, no, listen, why will I give roadmap to an illegal position? That means I've already accepted them. Like I said, for my position, and as position of Ijo Youth Council, and as Secretary General, this committee does not meet the congruent ingredient needed to, supersede or, bring justice to these very issues. Because one, let me tell you, I am from Krakrama, I am from Obuama. You're from Akasa. Now, I cannot come to Akasa community. No, I don't know where the deity of Akasa is, which part of, the community is. That's why when you want to do what they call environmental impact assessment, you need, for example, you need members of the committee. You even need the native doctor, the spiritualist, the king. You need the women leaders and all of that. If you've not done all of those things, there's no proper EIA. This is what has happened here in this committee. The people who bears the brunt, who produce this thing, who will be the ones to sniff the ones that sniff the gas, the people who die from, all of these things, and on whose behalf you are setting up this committee, technically, let me say this. You have not also incorporated them. You are rather going outside, scratching the surface, saying we are all Niger Deltas. It's not about that. I don't have issues with the Edos and the Deltas. But the fact that my ethnic nationality, John Nation, is not represented, even bring those persons whose brains you have used to say, yes, they are now renewed hope and they are renewing their hope.
Okay.
Bring them. Let us see. All right. It gives us, that respite.
Let's look
because that is not done.
All right,
I am hearing this thing that it's not what the right.
All right, Maobuye Nangi Obu. Let's look at the 3 major reform blueprints, one after the other, before we open the phone lines. One of the deliverables is the implementation toolkit for immediate structural fixes, including draft legislative amendments, executive instruments, and institutional restructuring proposals. What would you say about this?
Okay, so why would you come up with a legislation and all of that when you don't know the issues that bedevil?
You wouldn't want to say it that way, huh?
No, Ikimoye, I understand that this is, I am saying it that this government or this current administration have failed. They have failed Nigerians in all ramifications. They have failed Nigerians. I am a Nigerian. You are a Nigerian. You may want to be on the path and maybe try to want to, I don't know. I don't want to.
Because when you say failure here, you have a lot of, empirical evidence to prove the level of failure. But in this case, bro, you've not done.
So should I do that? So should I do that now?
Oh well, that's not the conversation at the moment. Yeah, so we're focusing on that. Okay, well, let's look at the second deliverable. Yeah, the second deliverable is about capital and liquidity acceleration blueprint aimed at unlocking $5 to $10 billion in sectoral liquidity while safeguarding Nigerians' sovereign interests. A lot of people do not understand what this is all about. You probably want to help us by breaking it down.
So first of all, what's Nigeria's sovereign interests? As much as I will tell you, I don't know. We don't, because we don't have it. What's our sovereign interests? What is it? No, first of all. Then when you talk about accelerating liquidity, that is, for example, how do you now accelerate liquidity? They've already looked at the oil and gas sector that we are not major players. And this is one of the issues that I have with our people, the job people, that we don't want to be part of the oil governance. All we want is to be megadis and get monies and make billions and just do money laundering for other people monthly. And we say we're doing the job. That is why this type of thing will not favor you, because at the end of the day, they are saying how many $billion. All of these investments that will come in will still be headed by those people we think do not have the oil. And that's because we have failed to push ourselves, into this business of oil governance. Today we have a minister who they say is Minister for State Petroleum that takes care of the NNPC and all of that. Some of these SBUs are under him. How many of our people have been employed in the NNPC? You would ask yourself. So tomorrow, how many of them will now grow up? How many of them are now made deputy directors or MDs or GMDs or even managers and whatsoever? And how many of them would they allow tomorrow to go to GGM and all of those things, or EDs? So when you talk about all of these things, how many Ijaw persons? We have just few Ijaws that are doing well in the oil and gas. Our dear brother like Century, and maybe few that I can't remember. But how many of these things are they willing to also allow people like Century play a major role in it? So the truth is that, I don't think I have anything to say about all of this. First of all, the president needs to do that, because Nigeria is run by sentiment, and we must all follow it that way. You said we are the fourth largest ethnic nationality. Treat us as that. Make sure we're not supposed to be carried along. We are equal co-owners of this country.
Okay.
So we're major players. You respect us and give us our rightful position.
Okay, so what?
The job people are not represented in. So how do we give credence to what they are going to do?
Well, we want to open the phone lines, but you don't have anything to say about the first deliverable, second deliverable, and what about the third?
As much as I have, Kimoye, I have everything to say about it. But looking at the list, I don't want to give credence to this list, so I wouldn't say.
Okay.
One of the things I would say, one of the many things I would suggest is that these people should not sit in Abuja to drink tea and coffee. Assuming we have reasonable, sensible Ijaws or Niger Deltans on that platform or in that committee, they will be forced to move around the region and come around the communities to see the devastation. And that is one of the things. That would also aid them to come up with proper legislation.
Okay.
But now, today, these men you have mentioned that flies the highest level of kite and the highest level of private jets and all of that, where do they know in the Niger Delta? Now, the best thing they will do is that they will call a lot of hungry Niger Deltas, including me, to begin to push them around the region. That is because people like us, they've listened to us, criticize what they're going to do. Otherwise, they will extrapolate figures, just like what INEC does. INEC does not get to some of these, very far, communities in the Atlantic. So what they do is that they just come to the LGA headquarters, extrapolate figures, and say enumeration area demarcation. This so and so number of persons are here. Then this happens and that happens to them and all that. So that's what they're going to do. They're only going to...
Now, the numbers are 0707 747 1522 and 0912 1975. We are streaming live on Facebook. So you go to 97.5 Golden FM Facebook, subscribe, like the page, and drop your comments as well. We're watching, you will be watching us there. Let's take a message. Hello, a call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
I greet all of you people. I'm Chips from Amarata.
All right, Chicks, welcome.
Yes, the guest speaker just now just spoke everything. Thank God he has the kind of spirit I have too. The Ijaws, they have ruled us out of the system. They don't want to recognize the Ijaw people that we own this oil, and we the Ijaws are really marginalized. They don't want to know about us. On one point, it pains me that some Ijaw people that are supposed to stand for the in the government side, and we are all marginalized. It pains me, but no problem, But I know that God one day will elevate us. He will speak the truth and defend us very well. Nobody should say anything about this matter. The matter on ground, they just feel we are nowhere. Sorry, I thought I will speak more.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Thanks for keeping it very brief. That's what we want. Hello, good morning.
Yeah. Hello, good morning, GFM.
Good morning.
Yeah, I still start reporting from Erepa Constituency 1. Well, our guest, you see, this is somebody that is very passionate about the just struggle. That is why he's sounding this way. Please just give him that benefit of that. No. And secondly, let me keep in mind on my own take of it. You see, this has been seen as a norm in our political space today, which is not too good for nation building. You see, it is now seen as a situation where when a Yoruba man, sorry for sounding this way, Yoruba man is here, everything is now for the Yoruba. When an Hausa man is here, everything is now for the Hausa. If an Igbo man is here, it's now for the Igbo. But that is not the way, that is not the best way moving forward. You see, this is total marginalization. You see, this is oil matter we are talking about. And look at the names we are saying here. Although our guests have named some of the big fish in this side of the Niger that can handle such matters. He has named a few. What about the Timia Libis, former MD of the All-State Trust Bank? Just to mention but a few. But they not make us look as if we cannot manage such positions. And that is why we are saying this kind of place. But it's so unfortunate. And it's like a situation where you bring a white man to come and to be a chief in your community. It's not done. It's uncalled for. Thank you and good morning. I still remain Sapere reporting for Better.
Well, thank you so much, Perry, for keeping the brief. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning to Ria. Yeah.
Is it? Sorry, it's Golding FM, okay? Maybe that's a slip of tongue, maybe.
I'm Akin Sami calling from the PDP.
All right, thank you.
But the matter on ground, it's like we are very, very annoyed with the way things are going in Nigeria. Marginalization is too much. So look at every aspect of it. It's very annoying. So we don't want the situation of the country as we are seeing every day, listening to radios. It is the way it is going. It's mind-boggling. So many people are not happy about it. So try to be sure that everything goes according to every aspect of the country is respected and fairly represented. But when it is not going that way, it's like giving it to some set of people while they dance around with the common resources of the public, while others are looking at it with a mind that they are not pleased. That kind of government is not too good. So we are begging the government that committees like this, every area, every aspect, every zone, every ethnic group should be represented so that everybody harmoniously will work together. That's my take. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Take more calls. You can send messages on WhatsApp, all right, to the number 0912 000 1975. We'll wait for you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Moyo Steve.
Good morning.
Good morning, Paul Bassa.
Good morning.
Good morning to your guests. You have spoken very well. My name is Comrade Abraham Nelson. I'm calling from Tumbia, Ipichama. Please let me use this medium to call on our various pressure groups, our groups who are representing us in various levels, like the INC, the MUSIN, the IYC, and other pressure groups that represents the job people, the job interest. What are their position on this matter that is going on right now? Then our lawmakers, the senators and House of Rep members, even the governors. Right now, all our governors have moved to the ruling party, the APC. And right under their nose, this kind of thing is going on. What are they doing to protect the joint interest? What are they doing? Why are they so focused on politics? Why are our people so focused on politics and stomach infrastructure? What is our own interest on this matter? We need to be in the front seat. We don't have to always really agitate for everything before we get it. It's our right, and we are not there. Why is it always happening like this? Now, right now, all our senators, all our House of Rep members, they are in the APC right now, and they don't even know about this. Or should I say maybe they know about it and they don't care. It is very, very bad. We should begin to speak up. If you know you cannot represent the people, Please step aside. Allow the young ones who have the mind to represent the young nation to occupy those seats. Because every time I listen to this kind of things on radio, it gets me very, very angry. It gets me very, very upset because people like us, we should be at the front burner. This is our
okay.
The resources is our.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Well, look at the break and take more calls. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
This is Angel Robert. Angel Robert.
Welcome.
Sir, this life, when I look at it, we are all problems for ourselves. Sometimes when this other person will analyze, he will use sentiment, but he will not say the government is sentimental. Now, let me tell you, ministers, we have gotten so many ministers of petroleum. There was some years back, minister, but in short, we are the problem of ourselves. Now, 13% is coming. I don't think any person from the east or from the west that is controlling this 13%. But go to these oil producing communities, nothing to show. Nothing to show. On Saturday, Paul and Jacobson Park was on radio talking about sports. I reminded them, Olubolade just did 1997 to 98. Look at that complex there. It was built by Olubolade. Bayelsa State is going 30 years now. Minus 3 years. We have stayed 27 years. See, today, what Olubolade built is still standing on the ground there. The Ijaw people, how many stadiums have they built in this state? See, when somebody give appointment to a committee, we should all say they should work and make sure they follow up. But not whereby, if like the person from Delta, somebody from Edo State, I know there is no just speaking person there, but if they can do their job properly, nothing is wrong there. Before I go, the ones that they are giving to us, what are we doing with those ones?
Okay.
Good morning. Thank
you very much, Robert. We appreciate your contribution this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Ikemori and Basa.
Good morning, welcome.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think listening keenly, I think.
Hello, we lost I call back, okay? Call back. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Yeah, morning, sir.
Morning.
Yeah, this is Kelvin.
Kelvin, where you call from?
Bele.
Oh, Bele.
Yeah.
Quickly, Kelvin.
Yeah. You see, from like I said it all the time, we are learning every day. From the creation of Nigeria to today, how many presidents don't rule? All the whole president, they are rich people. People like late Abacha. His money is uncountable. So what I mean, Nigeria money need to finish. So we could no bother ourselves. When you reach our turn, you go reach. The oil well need a block. Every day, the oil well they blow. God know what thing they do. Leave them made in the rule. One day, it will reach our turn. God bless all over Nigeria.
Okay, then, well, thank you very much for your perspective. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm Nathan. I'm calling from Swally. Good morning to your guests.
Welcome.
Yes, so these are the things we are talking about. These are the things we are talking about. Sometimes we say people will look at it from other picture, and somebody will say that the ones that they are giving to us, what that we do with it. We are doing a lot with people. So much you go into statistics and look at it. We are doing a lot with it. Look at Bayelsa State. They say that it's 3 times bigger than Lagos. They say that it's bigger than Akwa Ibom in landmark and all the rest. Then somebody will not give us 8 local government and expect it to use 1%, 1% and develop a state that is very big like that. And when it comes to the local government funds that are supposed to use it for developing local government, we don't have those funds. So how will the state develop in fast? How will that happen? People should look at things before they analyze. They don't just say that what we are doing a lot. The governors from Alame's to reach this very territory, they are doing a lot. I'm not saying that they are not stealing. I'm not their spokesman. I'm not related in any way to them. But they are doing a lot. There is no governor in Nigeria from anywhere that will say that there is no source. Or except the people being and late year as well. For the rest, I can tell they are doing a lot. So if we say that job people are being marginalized, we know what we are talking about. Since the government of Buhari is today, Bayelsa State have not had a minister. The German have never had been a minister in this country. And we are the fourth largest ethnic nationality in the country. And we say we are part of one people. We should wake up from our sleep. And that tax was that whatever thing, people, I don't know the president, if it is only Yoruba people that are more qualified, or the only people that are qualified in the country, you see, no one, let him know that he's setting a kind of example that others will follow. And nobody should complain at that time.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Pibasa.
Good morning.
To be sincere, the marginalization in the country is so obvious. It's very, very obvious. Especially against the people of the South, and the Southeast. Nobody would not say there is no marginalization. In fact, it has always been like that. But the problem is, not the fact that in the national people are being marginalized, come to the state levels. Even in the states, yeah, they are the same thing too. We have the same issues. Look at, for example, from 1990, look at all the governors all those who have become governors in this state. Go and look at their communities. Go to their communities and see what they have there. And you look at what is happening in other places. Some of them took schools to their places, universities. The question is, when those universities were taken there, was those places the best place to place those universities? Even in the Nagoya, people are crying in Bayelsa here. For example, the people are crying. They've not become the speaker, they've not become deputy governor, they are crying. So that is something that not just with the state or with the government, even within we, ordinary people like this, in our families, we have those things everywhere. Until we start working on those issues, even in our family, before we get up there. Thank you, and Chop Noko.
All right, thank you very much, BB, for your contribution. Okay, so, you've said quite a number of things, but looking ahead, because we want to round off this conversation, looking ahead, what would success look like for this task force in the next, 3 months, right? But in the next 2 to 3 years from the perspective of oil-producing communities, regardless of the fact that, we don't have Ijo Sons right there. But what would success, in your own opinion, look like for this task force?
Okay. I know you're a very smart, young man. Like I said, I respect your cerebral acuity. However, I would go back again to telling you that success is when everybody is ably represented, because you want to solve my problem. You need to ask me where it pinches, where I need help, where I would and how I would need to help you. Let me give you an instance. Why governments fail. For example, let me use our dear Bayelsa. Mind you, I'm also an Imbe person, right? Now, our dear Bayelsa state, for example, somebody just sits there without, you want to do something in my community of Bulumabiri, for example, and then you're there, and then you just, as government, you just feel like what we want is one school or whatever. Meanwhile, our major problem could be shore protection and land reclamation. So we will not take it seriously if you don't sit with the locals to say, please, what do you really want? I have 2 projects to give to you. So what are the 2 projects that's most important to you? That's the way things work. Then the locals will tell you, please, for now, we know that the school is okay, but what will make us very happy is that when we have shore protection and land reclamation, then it helps the people. The people will appreciate and own the project. Same applies to this thing. You are setting up a presidential task force, a committee that will look into the menace in the oil and gas sector, right? And the real people who bears the brunt are not part of the committee to have a representation, to take you around the creeks, to take you around the region. How do you then get success? I am not saying, until Nigeria should be run by sentiment, but things like this must be run by sentiment. I cannot go to Zamfara and say, and none of these persons that you mentioned are solely oil and gas experts that will tell you that they, with the people that they understand everything. Energy this, energy that. Anybody can be an energy commentator or whatsoever. So the point is that without trying to disrespect the committee and their person, I do not think there will be success if the right thing is not done by the president. And that is when the committee is being rejigged. Either you add at least 3 Ijos to the committee or 2 minimum, to be part of it. Real Ijo people. But even if you want to bring those who have renewed their hope with you, we don't mind. Then we can claim and take ownership of this. However, we also understand that if we take away this and not be part of the process, that they will just sit back and come up with anything. Even if we now give them recommendation, like I said, they should come to the region. If you want me to at least give something, one of the major things I would say is that they should come to the region, go from community to community if possible, to ask what the issues are and how best they can tackle these issues, and then they can know where these, these funds that they are trying to generate, they would now know where to, implement these funds, where they can put the funds, the type of businesses they can, encourage within the region, because that's the way. When people can take ownership, I made a proposition to the federal government under Buhari, and what was the proposition? We're killing our people today. We have given Megadi job to our own, and people are killing people, bombing here and there, desecrating the land, causing environmental depollution and degradation of the environment. Nobody likes bunkering, but why not, improve on these boys? Take them on various courses where they can learn the art of, getting this oil and gas stuff. They have mastered the art, but improve them with modern technology. Attach them to a nearby flow station. They don't have to burst the pipes anymore. You give them a particular amount and tell them to refine this crude. And because you have taught them how to go about this fractional distillation and all of these processes and all of that, they can have modular refineries within, and every of these boys, then they will give a particular sum to the federal government monthly or daily based off on what they get from the flow station. They don't have to burst the pipes anymore, and they have to do it in a clean way because you monitor them. They can now employ people. That is one of the ways these things can happen.
All right, we'll have to go now.
And took Megadi job and did a whole lot.
All right, so
there's a lot to talk about.
Yes, indeed, there are a lot to talk about, but we can't, exhaust everything today. But thank you so much, Maobuye Nangi Obu, Secretary General of the Joy Youth Council Worldwide, for speaking to us this morning. We look forward to having you some other time.
God bless you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. So that's it on the program. We have discussed extensively. Yes, our guest has been able to make some points, even though he refused to speak on certain things or to react to the 3 deliverables that were given to the task force, because he felt that no Niger Delta son, no Ijo son is on the task force. Whatever it is, if this new task force is to succeed, its work must reflect fairness, accountability, and genuine inclusion. Only then can petroleum reform become not just a national economic strategy, but also a pathway to justice and sustainable development for oil-producing regions. Thank you to our guests and, of course, to our listeners for staying with us this morning. Join us tomorrow again on Let's Talk Nigeria as we continue to examine the issues shaping our country.